Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
One of the things that I've always said is that if you go into a room of 100 people, if you walk into a room of 100 people and you ask each one of those people individually, would you consider yourself to be average? Everybody would say no. But we know that that's mathematically impossible for everybody in there to not be average, because there has to be some average people, because that's what makes it the average. And today what I want to talk to you all about is what steps you out of the average realm, what will keep you out of the average realm, and what will make you a person who can draw that attention when you're talking about building a brand and building a business, who could be the person who makes the team or gets the contract offer when you're talking about trying to play college basketball or you want to go play pro basketball, both of which have a success rate which is 3% or lower. Those are very low success rate. You too be able, good morning to you too. Good morning M513, good morning. I can't see that name, but what up to you too. The thing that you must do in order to make sure that you stand out amongst the crowd, and a crowd could be 2 people if there's only one available position. A crowd could be 1 million people if there's 100,000 available positions. For you to stand out, you must be exceptional. But what does being exceptional mean? Being exceptional means you are an exception to the normal, to the standard, to the average, to what everyone expects. You must be the exception. So often, there's a question that I get from people. People come to me and they say, Dre, well, what does the average person do in this situation? What's the average success rate for people if they are in this particular position? What is the average? People always ask, what's the average? The only reason you want to know what the average is so that you can make sure you're an exception to that average. The only reason you want to know what the rules are is so you can make yourself an exception to the rule. You don't want to be the rule. You don't want to be the average. You need to be exceptional, which means you got to take what everybody else is doing and you got to be completely out of that area. It's kind of like, I heard the speaker named Andy Andrews once say, people started talking about thinking outside of the box. You ever heard somebody say thinking outside of the box? Now it's so common to think outside of the box that thinking outside of the box is the average thing to do now. So now thinking outside of the box isn't exceptional. So now you got to get completely away from the box, get out of the cardboard box factory. You got to go to a whole different town, a whole different country, a whole different universe to be exceptional. So what you have to understand is that whatever you hear people talking about, whatever you see people doing, if you want to make sure that you stand out, a guaranteed surefire way to stand out is you must be an exception to everything that's going on. See, an exception is something that gets pointed out, right? If you said, how was school today? If you go home and your mom says, how was school today? And school was just a normal day, nothing out of the ordinary happened, what are you going to say? You're going to say, oh, school was fine. School was good. But if something exceptional happened, there was a fight in school, the teacher yelled at somebody, there was a rat running through the middle of the lunchroom, that's the exception. That's going to get people's attention. And so that leads right into the next point. To be an exception, you got to get people's attention. You have to do something that stands out, something that is remarkable. Y'all have all heard the phrase remarkable, exceptional, standing out. Those are all the same thing, but what you need to do with those is break down those words. Remarkable is what? Something that is able to be remarked on, which means if you're doing something that nobody can look at it and make a remark about it and say, wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's an exception to what I'm used to seeing. That's different than what I was expecting. Then you're not going to stand out. You're going to fade into the crowd like everybody else. And I know if I asked everybody who's watching this stream right now, do you consider yourself to be average? Everybody would say no. And that can be true because maybe amongst this group, somebody would have to be average, but amongst the world at large, this could be the exceptional group. These people who are watching this right now, 6 o'clock in the morning, you listening to something that can help you get better in your life. You are definitely the exception, trust me. So what you have to understand, all of you who are watching this, since you're interested in this conversation, you must do something that is remarkable. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care if you play a sport, if you're trying to start a business, if you never played a sport and you have no business, I don't care if you only have a job. You can do something that makes other people remark on what you're doing, that makes you an exception to what people are used to seeing, makes you an exception to what everyone around you is doing. Well, you just take that idea right there. Any room that you're in, and when I say room, I mean that metaphorically, any room that you're in, make yourself the exception of whatever is going on in that room. You will continuously find yourself in new places where you're standing out over it and over it and over and over again. And when you're standing out over and over and over again, what's going to happen is people are going to start paying you. And they're not going to be paying you money at first. What they're going to be paying you is attention. See, when you stand out, you're exceptional and you're remarkable, people will start paying attention to what you're doing. And when everybody is showing up to pay attention to what you're doing, and they just keep showing up, they keep showing up just to pay attention to you, then you can charge them. Like, all right, you want to pay attention to me, it's going to cost you $1. Again, metaphorically speaking, it could cost you $1,000, it could cost you $1 million. But the first step is you must have a base of somebody paying attention, somebody remarking, somebody noticing, somebody seeing that you're an exception to what's normally going on. Now, if there are any questions, I'll take those questions. This is Dre Baldwin y'all talking to. I told y'all who I am. Professional athlete, professional speaker, content marketer extraordinaire, coaching consultant, author of 7 books, publisher of 4,000 YouTube videos, 4,000 blog posts, and I almost got 400 live streams here on Periscope. I think this is number 398 if I looked at the stats earlier, if that was correct. So I'm almost at 400 live Periscope streams. What's the time I usually wake up? Between 4 and 4:30 a.m. is the time I usually get up. Somebody asked me that question like once a week. Can I take any questions on the topic here? We're talking about being exceptional, standing out, making yourself extraordinary, extraordinary. So you got the ordinary, then you add on some extra. That's where you get the people who stand out from the crowd. Hey to you too. I can't see it. Who's that? Katrina Carter. Good morning to you, Katrina Carter. Where you checking in from? How have I been? I've been fantastic. I've been right here. Where you been at? I'm always here. So it's like a basketball game. You have to stand out to get that scholarship. Yeah, you definitely had to stand out. Motivate kids. Are you asking me a question or are you telling me something? Usually going to work, you don't catch it live all the time. Well, that's the great thing about Periscope is that, it's around for 24 hours. And the great thing about me is that a lot of these end up on YouTube anyway. Almost all the streams are going to end up on YouTube. They don't go up the same day that I do them, but they eventually get up to YouTube. I'm 6 feet 4 inches tall. How tall are you? So with this morning, we're talking about being exceptional, being extraordinary, standing out from the audience, making yourself remarkable. You're 5'2". Okay. How do you motivate bratty kids? Well, to motivate anybody, you have to show them something that they want. Another thing is you could, I don't know, if you're talking about your kids, you could whoop their ass. That'll motivate them. Watching this first thing, wake up, got me in that mindset. That's what's up. Well, it depends on who these kids are. What's your relationship to the kids? Are they your students? Are they your children? Are they just some kids you trying to work with just because you want to? What's the situation? Because there's different ways of motivating people based on the relationship that you have with those people. Like, if you go to work and your boss wants to motivate you, they don't have to give you no uplifting information. They can just tell you, listen, if you don't do what I say, you're fired. That'll motivate somebody. If you're a parent, you go to your kids and say, you don't do what I say, I'm going to whoop your ass. And that'll motivate them. Now, other people, you might have to do something different. You're their nana for 5 years. Well, number one thing is you want to show people what they want. To motivate people, that means they got to want to do what you want them to do. That's what motivating means, ideally, is that you have them want to do the thing you want them to do. So if they don't want to do it now, but you want them to do it, you got to make them want it. So somehow, some way, you got to show them that doing that thing will be a positive outcome for them. That's the way that you can get to motivate people. Show them that doing whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do will be a positive outcome for them. So doing your schoolwork will help you be more successful in life, for example. How do you outperform if teammates never give you the ball, coach puts you in the post? Well, if you can play, it don't matter where the coach puts you. As long as you're on the court, if you can play, it'll show. A player who can play no matter what position he's playing. Now, if you're on the bench, that's a different story. But if you're on the court and you're not doing your thing, that's not the teammate's fault. It's not the coach's fault. It's your fault. You need to improve your game. If your game was better, then it wouldn't matter what position you was playing. Kobe Bryant played center in high school. So what's your excuse for being in the post? John Salmons played center in high school. So this morning we talking about being exceptional, standing out from the crowd, getting better. And the other comment, you say your teammates don't give you the ball. That's probably because you can't play. I mean, if you could play, your teammates would probably be trying to give you the ball very hard. If you're a really good player and your teammates are not giving you the ball, then one of those is incorrect. It just doesn't add up. And the third thing is, if you're a really good player, you don't need your teammates to give you the ball. You just go get it. A good player can get the ball when they want it. Now, an average player is expecting somebody to give them the ball. So you got to decide what kind of player you are. Well, thank you. That's the only way I know how to do it. King, what does that say? King Mike II? I appreciate that. It's the only way I know how to do it. So everybody, I told you I'm the author of 7 books. If you click the link in my Periscope bio, you can get any one of my books. My 7th book is called Dre Philosophy Volume 0. It just came out 2 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago to the day. I do got a free book. It's called Buy a Game. You can get it on my website. Just go to dreallday.com. I'll give you my first book for free via email. Follow me here on Periscope. I will be streaming again later on this afternoon, and I got webinars coming up very soon. We've been working on the back end of the webinars for literally two or 3 months now. We almost finally got it set up. So it's coming soon. So just stay tuned to this Periscope channel. You'll hear about everything going on. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Make sure you get my first book, Buy a Game. It is free. Click the link right here below in the video description. I'm on all your favorite social media platforms: Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. All the links are right down here below. It's either Dre Baldwin or Dre All Day on each one of those sites. And make sure you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button down there and the thumbs up like button. Subscribe so you catch all the new content. I work on your game. Dre All Day.